In this video we're going to review this Honda Monkey 125, and for a very good reason, and that is that my first bike when I was 7 years of age in the 70s was a Honda ST70, which is a kind of monkey bike, a little bit different but pretty much the same, and I've always had a soft spot for these.
So the Honda Monkey is a 125cc 4-stroke and it costs £3,699.
This monkey produces 9.25 brake horsepower at 7,000 RPM and 11 Newton meters of torque at 5,250 RPM. And what that means in the real world, being such a lightweight bike, it feels quite sprightly to ride, and it feels like it's more powerful than a lot of the other 125s we've been riding lately. So yeah, it certainly doesn't feel underpowered.
So it's got a seat height of 30.5 inches, and considering how small it is, it's not actually that bad of a riding position. It feels comfortable to ride.
Now the Monkey is such a nice bike to ride. The turning circle is minute, and I don't think there's a motorcycle in the world that can turn around in such a short space. So a lot of bikes you've got to shunt around and do a 3-point turn when you're sort of manoeuvring it in the garage. With this one, it just goes straight round, so if you're going in the wrong direction on a road, you just stop, look behind you and turn around in one go, and that's phenomenal.
Ideal height range for this bike would probably be about 5'5" to 5'10", but if you were shorter than that or taller than that, you'd probably still be okay.
The riding position is actually quite nice and it's very comfortable. Obviously it's a small bike and I'm a big guy, but even so I'm still enjoying riding it around and it's perfectly fine.
It's got a 5.6 litre tank, and at this point in time that would only cost you £6.20 to fill up, so that's remarkable. And that will give you a range of 375 miles, which, to put in perspective, if you filled up in London you could ride this to Le Mans theoretically and do that all on one tank, and that's with a miles per gallon of 189, so that is incredible. So to put the miles per gallon in another term, you could do, it's 67 kilometres a litre, and if you were using this for commuting, which it would be perfect for, you'd probably last 2 weeks on one tank of fuel, so that is brilliant. So it's equipped with disc brakes, and also it has ABS, which means if you do slam the brakes on, you're not going to go over the front, which is something that can happen on a short wheelbase bike, but that factor is eliminated with this.
My old Honda ST70 years back had 3 gears and it was semi-automatic, so you had no clutch. This has got a clutch and 4 gears. The quality and styling on this bike is second to none. It's extremely good, and as you would expect from a Honda, very, very well made.
So there's 3 different colour options for this bike. There's yellow and white, which I'm on obviously, there's black and white and red and white. I think it looks really nice in red and white personally, and it also has chrome on the fenders and around the various parts of the bike, which looks really nice.
Underneath the petrol tank here you've got a large plastic box which is basically housing the air filter. Now something we like about this, you've got a helmet lock here. You put your key in to open it and put the helmet in and flick it over, and you've got your helmet locked away so no one's going to take it. It only works with a helmet with a metal D-ring though, so if you've got a different sort of strap it won't work. Underneath this very comfortable seat you've got a little side panel here which unlocks and you can take it off. Inside here you've got a tool kit and you've got all the electrics hidden behind it.
It weighs only 107 kilos which means it's extremely easy to manoeuvre about or shunt about, put it in a shed or the garage because of how light it is. And it's got a very good turning circle, so that means that you can manoeuvre it very easily as well.
Now the ride on this bike's very good too. You've got upside down forks at the front with about 10 centimetres of travel, and they soak up the road bumps quite well, and about 10 point something, about 10 and a half at the rear, and again it soaks up the bumps pretty well. Obviously massive bumps you're going to bottom out with a heavy rider like myself, but a normal sized person, the suspension's actually really good. Now this bike is so agile and so manoeuvrable, it's the perfect city commuter. I can't think of a better bike in the world. You could get in between and round cars and lane split because it's so narrow and so small. It's absolutely perfect for that. But in the countryside around here as well, it's just so much fun. You go up the country lanes and in and out, and it's just phenomenal to ride. It's so much fun, I can't tell you. The Honda Monkey corners ever so well, and within a few minutes of riding it you feel you can take it around the bends ever so fast, and the lean angle on it is incredible as well, as you can see. The Monkey will do 60 miles per hour. I had it up to 58 miles per hour, but I'm quite heavy, so I think with a normal sized rider you will find 60 is its top speed. But to be quite honest, you wouldn't want it to go any faster than 60 because it's a short wheelbase and it's got a steep rake and it's very nimble. At higher speeds that could be dangerous, so 60 is plenty, and 60 feels fine obviously. Now the brakes on this are phenomenal. You've got disc brakes front and rear with ABS, but the fact that it's such a light bike, you pull them on and this stops in no space whatsoever. Now the big thing about this bike is the money saving. The fuel economy is just out of this world, 189 miles per gallon as my son said, and that is phenomenal. So why are you sitting on trains getting coronavirus? Why are you sitting and commuting in the dirt and the filth, sitting in traffic jams in cars, when you could be riding one of these and in no time you'd get your money back just on the simple fuel saving? For me, rearward visibility in the mirrors isn't brilliant, but it's not on any motorbike, to be honest. There's only a couple of bikes where I can actually see behind me, so you have to move out of the way like that. But that's because I'm sort of quite tall and quite wide, so I think if you were a normal sized person it would be a hell of a lot better. Now obviously I said about being perfect in the city and the countryside and country lanes, but there's one other thing that this bike is actually very good for, and it's green laning, because it's very lightweight and very manoeuvrable, and the tyres are quite knobbly, they've got quite a good grip on them. You could take this bike down a country lane, down a farm track, across a field perfectly easily. Obviously not a great speed because you've only got a short amount of suspension travel, it's not a motocross bike, but as a general trail bike, and that's what I used to do as a kid, I used to ride around farm tracks on my Honda ST70, and this is exactly the same, so it's extremely versatile and good fun. Now I think this is actually quite a safe bike to ride, because at one point I was turning right and it's a fairly blind bend, and I was just going to make the manoeuvre and the car suddenly came the other way, but because of its manoeuvrability I could easily get out of the way and not make the turn. So from a safety point of view, the manoeuvrability is a good point. Now one thing you will have to live with, because the mudguards are quite small, or the fenders if you're from America, you will get a splashback onto the engine, so you're going to get stone chips down here, mud and what have you. You just have to live with that, I'm afraid. The rear mudguard protects you very well from the wet and the dirt on the roads, no issues there. If you were thinking of getting this bike as your first bike, or you're going to buy it for your son or daughter and they're 17 or 18, I would say I would highly recommend it, because it's a very easy bike to ride, it's not too powerful, it's very safe, the handling is very good, the brakes are phenomenal, and you couldn't get a better bike for it, to be honest, so 100% recommend this. The question is then, who would buy the Honda Monkey? Now, from a personal point of view, I think it would make a great second bike. If you just wanted to zip up the road to the shops, get a pint of milk or whatever, or just go out for a bit of fun, it's perfect for that. As a city commuter bike, it's the best bike on the planet. Just for a fun ride, it's an amazing bike. So I think it would appeal to all ages. Tell us what you think. But I don't think there's an age group that wouldn't like it. It'd be great for girls and guys and teenagers as your first bike. And at the age of 17 in the UK, you can get your compulsory basic training done, your CBT, put L plates on it, and here it is. That's a bike you can ride around. And you would save so much money. The fact is that because of the fuel economy on this bike, you're going to be going around for weeks on end on £6.20 to fill it up.
So our verdict on this bike is it's an absolutely fantastic bike, and it's probably the best city bike that money can buy, and even just to have a bit of fun on the country lanes, it's fantastic for that too. So let us know what you think of the Honda Monkey, and don't forget to subscribe and leave a like on the video, it really helps.